Good morning. Welcome to Granite Peak Unitarian Universal Congregation in Prescott on this gorgeous day. Nice seeing you guys. I haven't seen you in quite a while. My name is Rabbi. I am your worship associate today, and I am honored to share the podium with Rabbi Nina Perlmutter, and she will talk about a Jewish holiday called TuB'Shevat. And it's not very well known. Actually, I had never heard of it, and I grew up in pretty religious, fairly religious Jewish home. But it's about the holiday or New Year welcoming the trees for spring. Okay, in addition to the announcements, were there announcements? Okay, I would like to take this opportunity to wish Rick Denny, our president, a very happy birthday today. Where is Rick? Oh, right there. And it's also his son's Bryce's birthday, right? Got that. If you want more information, you could check out Reverend Patty's videos or the newsletter or the weekly peek and so on. This is the mission statement of our congregation. We are a compassionate spiritual community that celebrates diversity, nurtures the personal and spiritual growth of all ages, shares our gifts, promotes justice for all, and serves the world we live in. Please join us in Davis Hall after the service. There are some goodies that represent TuB'Shevat, which Rabbi Nina will explain more. And I brought a whole bunch of goodies that you could eat and appreciate and see how it's celebrated.
There's also birthday cake.
And there's also birthday cake, I assume for Rick. And a bake sale? Oh, who knew? And a bake sale. I'd like to thank all our volunteers, Karen for filling in for Lena. She plays beautifully on the piano. And Martin, and Sandra Palacios, and everybody else who's volunteering in the kitchen and elsewhere. We begin our service today in the Unitarian service in the usual way by lighting our chalice. First, let me do this. Our chalice lighter today is Stephen Lovejoy, and I think the mic just died, or not? No, we're good? I'd like to read these words for the chalice lighting. You as a forest, that's the name of this piece, and it's by Deborah Lipsiger. I listen to the shelter of you, the sweeping canopy cradling the day and night of me, the moon rising in its branches, the stars falling in the sweep of your hair. I see the feet of your forest, the fingers, the limbs, the concave and the convex of you, the light that falls around the perimeter. I smell maple, fern, and ivy. And with these words, we have lit the chalice. We gather today with hope and prayers for a better world that flourishes in the nature, and keep looking toward peace, especially in Europe, the Middle East. As we know, this world is really very, very, very unsettled right now. So please keep these thoughts in your heart and mind, and as we continue to strive for better days ahead. Now, would you please join me in saying the covenant? Love is a doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth, its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community, Thus do we covenant together. And now let's please watch a stewardship video with Tracy Powers.
Hello, my name is Tracy Powers, and I'm the office administrator at Granite Peak. I volunteer, and I'm in the choir. This congregation truly cares about its staff and its members. Your pledges have provided an increase in salaries for the staff members here at Granite Peak, and your support is very much appreciated. The paid staff provide the structure to support the volunteer efforts, and there are many. We have a hospitality committee on Sunday morning that takes care of coffee and treats and cleans up afterwards. We have the View newsletter, the service auction, empty bowls, rummage sale, and stewards. We have a website, Wednesday forum, progressive dinners, safety team, office volunteers, and mailings, faith development and adult faith development, facilities, building and grounds, the project team, the worship team, and the board of trustees. We have somebody who helps with our music here at Granite Peak, making sure we have what we need and take care of the binders. We have a food pantry that is staffed by volunteers. We have a caring team and depositors that count the money and prepare them for deposit. We have volunteers to coordinate setup, cleanup, and food at celebrations of life. We have Sunday morning managers. We have greeters on Sunday morning. I apologize if I missed any. We have so many volunteers, and we thank you. We could not survive without you. There are many ways your pledges support Granite Peak, and these are a few. Martin, our Sunday tech person, he works at other events as well and is helping to improve our audiovisual equipment. We have communications. They pay for the website, Chamber of Commerce, and other marketing such as the Northern Arizona Pride Guide. We have faith development. Take a look at the artwork in Davis Hall and read the View to see what is going on with our children. We have adult faith development programs as well. Our music program is amazing. The Minister's Benevolence Fund helps with the food pantry and provides help to so many people in our community. There are many more areas that your pledges support, and I hope you'll consider pledging so we can continue what we have and add a few other programs here at Granite Peak. Thank you.
Right now, we'd like to take a moment to do our joys and sorrows. Usually Patty lists a lot of people in our congregation that have been going through issues, but I'm not doing that today because I honestly don't know exactly who they are. But I would like to reflect on our joys and sorrows throughout the world. And it's a practice of holding one another in community. And of course, dealing with your own personal issues or those you love. So I welcome you now to please come up and put some stones in the water and say some special prayers or wishes for those that are close to you. Thank you, Karen. Wasn't that beautiful? Wow. It's Prelude by Chopin. And now let's say, all sing, Walking with You. It should be. Walking with you. Walking with you is my prayer. At this time, I'd like to do the offertory. Let us embrace the feeling of connection and community that we have together here each week. This month's offertory is hungry children, hungry kids actually, and God knows there are too many of them all around. So dig deep when you do. Let us remember that this congregation and its programs are supported by your generosity. We also give back through the greater community through this effort. Every contribution that goes to this organization, Hungry Kids, is dollar for dollar. Every cent you give is given to the children. There are no salaries, no fees. Everything is run by volunteers. So kindly remember that as you're digging deep. More information about this organization is in the order of service, or you could go online and check it out. You could also give to prescottuu.org, so keep that in mind. No music, I guess. Here it comes. We acknowledge the generosity of the Spirit expressed through this offering. What is given in love is received in gratitude. Blessed be. Now please help me welcome Rabbi Nina Perlmutter, and she will take over and talk about TuB'Shvat. Got it.
So, I'm always happy to be here. I'm starting to feel older looking around and realizing how long I've known so many of you. Elaine and I got to hug this morning, and we grew up some in Yavapai forever, and Judy, and I knew the earlier generations of the Lovejoys more than this generation, but it's good to see you. So, Happy New Year. First time I've seen most of you in 2024. And I say shalom and salam and pas and hewa, which Patty and Mary Lou would know. Tom and I also lived in Japan, so, but they know Japanese, much shorter. And happy TuB'Shvat. Well, it's 2 days late, but happy TuB'Shvat. Happy TuB'Shvat means Happy New Year for the trees. So I want to share about trees and what's going on with TuB'Shvat. Mary Lou and I went back and forth, and I'm going to talk a little, and then we're going to see a little movie, and then I'm going to talk a little more, okay? And how many of you ever heard of TuB'Shvat before the announcement here? Okay, not many. TuB'Shvat literally does not mean happy birthday trees. It means the 15th day of the month of Shvat. So it's sort of like happy January 1st or something like that. And it's like many Jewish, virtually all Jewish holidays. The rabbis put together a way to celebrate certain things at times of the year that made sense. And they decided to go to the natural cycle calendar and attach special events. So you looked at nature, and you looked at our people's history, and then you looked at something personal to make it more personal, okay? So that's how most Jewish holidays get done. So why would you celebrate trees the week of lots of snow? What you want to do is get in touch as a Jewish person with the history of our people, and our history of people for 2,600 years goes back to Israel and the Middle East. And in Israel and in the Middle East right now, it's actually the turning of a season. It's actually something like spring. The harshest times are over, and the sap is starting to grow, move up and down. So over there in the Middle East, it's the new year is actually starting, okay? So my friends and I, we used to teach something called a sense of place class at Yavapai, and we all are from Prescott area, but all of us have a history with a sense of place elsewhere. And the Jewish people's sense of place is Israel and the Middle East. So this invitation to Jews around the world living on Jewish time, we get in touch right now with the beginning of spring and the growth of trees. It's an ancient thing, and to understand some various things about trees and Jewish, I wanted to bring you a picture. This is called a Torah tree. Anyone ever go to a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah? Yeah. Okay. All of Jewish life is grounded in the Hebrew Bible, down here in the bottom, the roots. All right. And for 2,600 years or so, that's where it begins, but Jewish life is seen as a tree based on commentaries and interpretations and applications of things that start down here. At a bar bat mitzvah, a kid is studying something in Torah and adding his or her leaf to understanding and applying what that might mean now. And our Torah, the Hebrew Bible, is called our tree of life. Ancient roots, but still growing as we add our leaf to the tree. So in Jewish life, Torah is a tree, and my life is a tree. I invite you to stand up if you can, or if you want. And in Jewish tradition, we're supposed to see our lives as a tree. So take a step or two, and what are you grounded in? What's that? Earth. And what is the main trunk of your life? What are the basics? And what are the branches? Reach out. How are you giving shade or coolness or fruit to the world? Jewish kids are invited to see themselves as trees, our tradition as a tree, and ourselves as a tree with roots, basic foundational thoughts or this or that, branches, impacting the world, right? And you can sit down if you want or keep growing. So the idea here is to use this holiday, which started in Torah, but over the thousands of years have been reinterpreted and added to, and use it as a time to get in touch with trees, to get in touch with the natural environment, and to get in touch with our people, our tradition, and with what we can learn with that. In the beginning, so to speak, in Deuteronomy, we hear TuB'Shvat actually began as the birthday of the trees in order for tithing purposes. You're not to take fruit from a tree until it's 4 years old, or give offerings until it's 4 years old. So they made this time the birthday of the tree to decide, when you can start giving offerings, etc. Other things in Torah, go on. If you're at war, you're never to cut a tree. You're not to cut trees down in war. That's a biblical story as well. You're supposed to see yourself as a tree. I'll give you some more quotes later, things like that. But the idea of a birthday for the trees to acknowledge and to get in touch with trees. So what do folks do? And I'm only 76. I didn't know much about TuB'Shvat growing up, but in my generation, there were also additional activities. Traditionally, forever, Jews would plant trees on TuB'Shvat. Plant trees at their homes, plant trees in Israel. You planted trees. Anyone ever go to a Passover Seder? Okay. There's a TuB'Shvat Seder, and I'll read to you from that in a few minutes. You plant trees. You become aware of different kinds of fruits that come from trees, and you identify with those fruits, and I'll help us do that in a few minutes. You connect with Israel, the sense of place, etc., and you talk a lot about trees, and you go out and you not only plant trees, but you plant parsley. And if you want, I'll give you a little biodegradable cup, some dirt, and parsley leaves, parsley seeds. the idea of getting in touch with seeds. You plant parsley now. If you look at parsley, it looks like a little tree when it's growing. And you're growing parsley seeds now for Passover, which is coming soon. Okay? So the natural cycles. You plant seeds and you plant parsley. So we do that, and we look at a variety of kinds of fruits from trees. So, for example, pomegranates are a big deal in Israel and the Middle East. What's inside?
Seeds.
Lots of seeds. But we're supposed to notice seeds. We're supposed to be a seed for a better future, right? That kind of thing. But this is one thing that represents the kinds of fruits that are hard on the outside, but soft on the inside. Hard on the outside, but soft on the inside. Do you know any people like that? Are you one of them? Other fruits of trees. There are some that are soft on the outside, but a bit harder on the inside. The public view might be more soft, but all right. You know anyone more like a date? All right. There are raisins. Soft on the outside and soft on the inside. Know anyone like that? Can you see yourself like that? I see some of you smiling. All right. Hard on the inside, figs. That's my favorite for that one. Hard on the inside, soft on the outside, hard on the outside, soft on the inside, totally edible. There's a place in the Seder where you talk about that and you identify with that. I think I'm almost halfway through. Mary Lou had this idea that we would see a little popular TuB'Shvat song in the middle of my talk. So it is time. Shvat.
Let's dig a hole and plant a seed. Let's water it, oh, let's water it, 'cause it is to be cut. Look at the sprouts. Look at the sprouts, they're coming up. Let's water them, oh, let's water them, 'cause it is to be cut. Trees are blowing in the wind, they're blowing. Trees are blowing in the wind. Trees are blowing in the wind, they're blowing. Trees are blowing in the wind. Look at the leaves. Look at the leaves, they're growing now. Let's water them, oh, let's water them, 'cause it is to be shvat. Look at the trunk. The trunk is so much bigger now. Let's water it, oh, let's water it, 'cause it is to be shvat. Look at the tree. The tree is so much taller now. Let's water it, oh, let's water it, 'cause it is to be shvat. Trees are blowing in the wind, they're blowing. Trees are blowing in the wind. Trees are blowing in the wind, they're blowing. Trees are blowing in the wind.
You get the idea. Appreciate trees. You also drink wine or juice on the holiday, white wine and juice and red wine and juice. And you do it in phases. First, all juice, that is white. Second cup, white with a little red. Third cup, a little more red. And fourth cup, all red. And again, the changing of the seasons and the changing coming back from snowy times, right, into spring times. Other sorts of things that will happen on a TuB'Shvat holiday is, again, the going outside and going beyond trees. In Jewish life, Torah is tree, I'm like a tree. We give thanks, and you think whatever you think is a source of all life, I call it a divine mystery, personal or impersonal. We need to get in touch with the source of all life, and be grateful, So if you ever go to any kind of observant Jewish home, you say blessings when you eat. Well, there's a special blessing when what you're eating comes from trees, and you're saying thanks to the trees. If what you're eating tonight comes from the earth, it's a different blessing for that. But you don't stop with trees. If you want some other blessings, I'll give you special blessing for thunder or lightning, or there's a special blessing, not this month in Prescott, when you first start seeing blossoms. All right, that connecting with growth. I'll read a few more quotes and then we'll stop. A person is like a tree of the field. That's Deuteronomy. If a person kills a tree before it's time, this is like having murdered a soul. In some cultures, only humans have souls. In Jewish teaching, all living things have souls. They're not exactly the same, we're a little more complicated, but trees have a nefesh and a soul. When a fruit-bearing tree is cut down, its cries will carry to the end of the earth, even if we cannot hear. And Rabbi Yochanan says, if you have a sapling in your hand and they tell you the Messiah is coming, first plant the sapling and then later greet the Messiah. So that's a little bit of teachings. If you're interested, I can give you some a list, or write to me, of Jewish environmental groups and Jewish tree groups. As I say, it's an important time. People are planting trees. In Prescott, my husband, before he became Jewish, we would plant the Christmas tree on TuB'Shvat up in Groom Creek. And now we don't plant the Christmas tree. And I support the liberal Zionists in Israel who are planting 2 trees this week, one in Jewish communities and one in Palestinian communities. So Jewish life keeps growing, keeps changing, finding ways to apply. You can go online, climate change, activism, and TuB'Shvat, whatever it is. So keep in touch with life, with trees, and how you are like a tree. Shalom. Next movie.
That was by David Flug, F-L-U-G. And thank you to Rabbi Perlmutter. Great job explaining TuB'Shvat. I learned a lot. I'd like to extinguish the chalice now. We got a little mixed up. If you'd like to say it with me. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you, Stephen. Rabbi, do you have any words that you'd like to close with?